part of the Morgan Knows Podcasting Network. You're hearing a Jimmy, Chris, and Rod for night 2 of SummerSlam. Nothing really major happened on this one, did it, boys?
Night 2 of SummerSlam. That's the first major thing we have to say, right? Like, we have to soak that
Yeah.
in. We just experienced the first ever 2-day SummerSlam, and I questioned at one point, would they have enough to fill? And boy, did they have enough to fill.
And I think, Chris, we finally got the main event of WrestleMania done correctly, right?
I mean, I guess they got a do-over. It was definitely what we were expecting at WrestleMania. So that was nice. Maybe it went a tad long, but other than that, I thought that was a great match.
Okay, so let's start there because I need to tell you why we're not going to start with most of the other part of the show. But John Cena, Cody Rhodes, we were expecting maybe a double turn here, but it seemed like a passing of the torch more than anything with Cody Rhodes winning. I'm really glad. I love the way they did it. Obviously, the Cody cutter off the top was a little at the very end, just didn't look as pretty as it should have, which is fine. Give them a break. They were wrestling for a good long time. The right person won. We're going to see what happens moving forward. First of all, let's go there. Do you think the right person won? Were you happy with the match, Chris?
No. I thought they botched this whole thing, right? I thought they botched it with turning Cena back to face. I thought they had a good thing going. They had a surefire way to the end of the year, and then you pass the torch. Like, I really think they messed up.
Okay. I can see, Chris, where they don't do the Cena promo on Friday, but after the reaction tonight and the match, maybe he does it on Monday or next Friday. I could see that. Rod, your thoughts?
You know, like, I went back and forth on this a little bit because we have certainly talked about how all of us, and I at one point thought that Cena wouldn't win the belt as a heel. You know what I mean? So then heel won the belt, kept the belt as a heel. So I've been wrong on this, but to me, the character of John Cena, the only way he's going to turn back to face is the exact way that he did it, right? Like if he's going to be all about the hustle, all about the loyalty, all about the respect, he's basically just going to tell us that that's on his mind, and that's what he's going to go back to. You know what I mean? So, like, I completely bought the way it went down on Friday night. And then seeing the ultimate end of SummerSlam, I guess it all comes together and makes a little bit more sense, right? Because if Cody's not going to turn, we needed another villain to come around, and boy, Jimmy, did we get another villain coming around.
Yeah, so it kept going back. Cena was staying in the ring. I'm like, why is he staying in the ring still? Cody went over to him, and then it was kind of cool. Cody did give him, I'm going to walk out. He actually, I think, did side ramp, which he, as specifically said, he will never, ever do side ramp, which I thought was hilarious. Always working the work with Cody Rhodes for sure. And then Cena was in there. Everyone was giving him his just, but his music didn't hit. But someone else's did. The Beast Brock Lesnar is back. There's a whole lot of backstory there, guys. First of all, Brock Lesnar looking a little trimmer, first of all, than he has in a long time. When he took that coat off or the vest off, it's like, oh, slimmed down a little bit. Still, believe me, still a beast, right? No pun intended. Chris, I thought that was kind of cool at the end. Did not expect that coming.
No, I didn't expect Brock Lesnar to ever be back in WWE, to be honest, right? Like, that was a shock in and of itself. But Jimmy, I'm a newbie wrestling fan. You're gonna have to fill me in on this John Cena, Brock Lesnar backstory.
All right, so Chris, I love you. There was a Raw, and Cena was out doing a promo at the very end, and then it was a Raw after WrestleMania, wasn't it? I think. And
right.
all of a sudden, after years of not being there, Brock Lesnar's music hits, and he and Lesnar ended up having a very hard-fought match at SummerSlam, ironically enough, where Cena did win. Super Cena did beat Brock Lesnar, but that kind of started that off. So we're going to kind of go full circle here and have Lesnar and Cena probably at Survivor Series, I would think. So I would definitely recommend watching that match between Cena and Lesnar because it was a pretty big match.
It's Brock being back is a surprise for lots of other reasons as well. but I guess it continues to be just more of the WWE saying we had a Vince McMahon problem and Vince McMahon is no longer around. So pay no attention to what's going on here. You know what I mean? It seems to be a little bit more of a continuation of that. So let's just leave that where it is. This isn't really the show where we cover too much of that. I was excited to see Brock Lesnar back as a wrestler, excited to see him trim. My immediate thought, though, went to how much Brock Lesnar are we going to see? Right? Is Brock going to commit to popping on a couple of Netflix or SmackDown, wherever they choose to land him? I guess probably wherever John is at, right? But it'll be interesting. Are we just going to get Brock for 2 appearances and then, the next pay-per-view? He's not going to show up in Paris, and I can't figure he's going to show up in Perth, Australia. So, Jimmy, your thought of Survivor Series is probably correct.
Yeah, we might see him in one of those two. You never know. Money talks, but also Brock Lesnar really doesn't need it because he lives in, the outback of Minnesota and doesn't really care, and he can, kill things with his hands. Like literally, Chris, he has a butcher shop, I believe, that he owns. So
I thought it was in Canada is where he lived.
It might be. I mean, he's from Minnesota. Could be over in across the border. I don't know, Chris. Okay, I'm sorry. So that was a great way. The endings of these two shows were fantastic. I really thought they did well. I was higher on the match than I was a lot higher on the match than you, I think, Chris, just because it's time to move on from Cena as that champ. He had this amazing final match here. We were all so down on that Mania, probably the worst Mania main event in history. This was the capper to that, and they did a terrific job with that. So I'm very excited.
Oh, to see Cena pull off a match like that at his advanced age when we've heard that he's dealing with, certain conditions and things of that nature, and seeing how stiff he was at every other attempt we had at a match with him, to see something like this get pulled off is just amazing. And like you said, Jimmy, to think that he's got 4 months left, I don't know. I don't know if I would be so sure about that 4 months left. We could easily see a quicker wrap up of this, I suppose, right? And John Cena's appearances are a bit more like what Chris threatened at one point, where he's around and he's making these scheduled appearances to at least sell the tickets. But other than a match with Brock Lesnar, I don't know how many more times we're going to see the guy in the ring.
I think we have to figure out if John Cena and Cody Rhodes are going to tag team maybe against Brock Lesnar and somebody else. That usually doesn't work very well with Brock Lesnar being in a team. Maybe that can help with a couple of those matches, but he's going to be done in December. His final match is going to be in Boston. I was thinking it might be against The Rock. I thought that it might have been kind of a nice way to sew up everything. Doesn't look like that's going to be that direction, but you just never know, right?
Still could be. We don't have to stretch the Brock out 4 months, so it still could be The Rock, but it will be interesting to see who does get that anointment of the final Cena match.
Okay, so I had to do some family stuff today. I was able to watch a couple of the matches, but then we had a Jackson, who has made some appearances on our show, had a little golf cart accident. He's fine. The mailbox is not. So I missed 2 whole matches with that. The golf cart's fine too. We just, one of those dad things. You get a call. It's not a good thing, but everything is fine now. So let's talk about. I don't know who win. I don't know. I have no idea. I have not watched it. Don't know the results. Let's talk about Dirty Dom and AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title. No clue. All right. First of all, good match, bad match. Rod, I'm so excited. I have no idea.
I'm gonna have to say average.
Oh no!
I was hoping for a bit more out of AJ. He didn't disappoint me, but I was kind of hoping that like AJ would dig deep the way Cena dug deep, and I don't necessarily know that we got that. And I thought that the end was a bit formulaic to me.
Chris, that doesn't sound like AJ Styles won the belt.
This match was phenomenal. The entrance, AJ's entrance, Jimmy, was truly phenomenal. I wrote that in our chat group. Like, it was awesome. It was a throwback to Eddie Guerrero entrance at his SummerSlam match against Rey Mysterio for Dominique's paternal rights.
So wait, right? but wait a minute. You've never watched wrestling before, so I don't know. How do you know that?
No, I can go back 20 plus years. I know some of that. All right. It was great. And
further
Dom
proving Chris's definition of new fan is incredibly flimsy and only fits whatever narrative he wants on this podcast.
Well,
Dom also proved again that he is a genius in the ring.
All right. So from Thank you for telling me who won. I'm assuming Dom won. Rob?
Dom has
Yes.
the belt still.
Dang it!
Yeah, I was disappointed by that too, Jimmy. And here, Chris is not wrong about everything that he just said. But what I will say is, I think your mileage on Eddie Guerrero tributes is starting to wane and wax these days, right? And for me, it's waning. Like, okay, how many people need to send tributes out to Eddie Guerrero, right?
You
Like,
liked AJ doing the Eddie Guerrero dance. You loved it.
Well, at least it kind of fit with what he's been doing, though. So I can see that where he's been, the cameraman. He's been a lot of different things. I can at least see that a little bit playing mind games with Dominic. But yeah, apparently AJ just didn't quite bring it this much, right, Rod?
I just didn't feel like it. I thought that like we would see like you'd be like, oh yeah, this is AJ really giving it everything he's got, and it just you could tell that like they were like, okay, the next spot's gonna come up here, the next spot's gonna come up there, and I just think they were really, really worried about trying to stay on time because they knew that they were the match right before Cena and Cody.
It's people underestimating Dom, and that's what keeps happening. AJ didn't take Dom seriously as a wrestler, and he is worse off for it.
Okay, so then I have Solo and Jacob in the steel cage. I'm assuming Solo won. Am I correct in that?
Yes, and it was the worst
Yep.
ending of the night. Honestly,
Okay, so did everybody come in and just beat up Jacob? I mean, is that what happened? Or
They tried.
Yes. No, what do you mean they tried? That's exactly how it happened. Tala hit the door that knocked out Solo and then or knocked out.
We
Jacob,
watched
and Solo
him
rolled out.
rip handcuffs apart with his own muscles, but then gets taken out by a chain link door.
Oh, listen, it helps the fact that it's like a 3-foot long distance between the handcuffs. It's a little easier to break that than if it were actual handcuffs that are closer together.
It was at least a better spot than what happened in the Becky Valkyria match with that little snafu.
okay, let's talk about that because Lyra Valkyria is apparently a magician because she is the only one ever that can get out of zip ties. That's amazing. Did you notice that when she actually broke the zip ties at one point and had to fix them real quick in the ring?
They should. It was way too obvious, and they should have just kept her a hand.
But they had to be in there for another 5 minutes, though. Hey, she did a good job of trying to hide it. She did. I mean, on the floor there. I think it happened. Did it happen on the floor or happen in the ring?
Happened in the ring.
I believe.
Happened in the ring where you saw, she's like, oh, shit. And then had to put them back in. And then on the floor, she kind of twisted them up a little bit more.
Yeah, she made it look like she was just doing some tomfoolery within the confines of the said zip ties.
Yeah. So overall, what were your thoughts on this? I thought it was a solid match, nothing spectacular. One thing I will say, way too many tables, ladders, chairs, everything in every single match, it seemed. I think they didn't put this card together correctly. There should have been, this match especially probably should have been on night one just because of the so much stuff going on in all the other matches.
All they had were street fights, triple threats, TLC matches, anything goes, cage. I mean,
yeah,
it was every style of match all in one night.
You're right. Too many foreign objects. We need to try to balance it out where like not every match is going to have foreign objects be involved. So you're absolutely right, Jimmy. And like I think the other overall thing about the pay-per-view is I was ready to give them credit for not doing an incredible amount of near falls until we got to the final match of SummerSlam.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think the incredible amount of near falls in that match is what made it feel like it was even longer than it actually was.
Yeah.
But I also think it helped build a little bit, right? So I think it helped strengthen my point that we got to cut back on some of the near falls because then sometimes when you get near falls, they work and they build drama.
Oh, it looks like she had a blade in her tights to cut him later. Oh yeah, because she was trying to cut him on the fire extinguisher or whatever later. Yeah. Thanks,
Wade
Mark.
Barrett said that was some sort of British SAS like thing that they learned, and Cole got after him immediately on that.
That's so funny. So Lyra loses though. Becky wins. It looks like Bailey is. Let's see. I was going back and forth on this one. Bailey actually hit Lyra, right? But she was fighting with Becky.
But did. Yeah.
So
Becky hit
so
Lyra.
Becky and Lyra, or Bailey and Lyra will have something maybe on on Raw, and then of course we'll go Bailey and Becky. So it's either going to be a tag or they're going to go against each other. Rod, I think you said go against each other, right?
I'd like to see Bailey and Becky go after it, right? I'd like to see two titans of their stature be locked in a feud, right? Instead of Lyra, because I'm with Chris, right? Like I don't want to put her down in this match, but like something just kind of still seemed off with me and Lyra, and I just wasn't totally there. And I don't want to completely just blame it on the zip ties. I think there's just like she just needs that little bit more seasoning. I'll say that she's better than Tiffy and Jade, who we talked about last night, but I think she needs a little bit of that seasoning.
Got rid of the wings. Very key. Very key.
But she's still doing all the weird, like, let me look off into the distance and like duck down and put my hands up by my head when they're like doing the match card. Like just let the whole bird thing go completely. Got rid of the wings, now let the rest of it go.
It's a Valkyrie. It's not bird. It's horses. I don't know. The Wyatt. Okay, Candice LeRae.
Yeah,
Candice LeRae died today. Apparently. She and Chris, all kidding aside, I know you don't really follow, but in the indies and things like that, she really was hardcore, did everything. They just have not figured out what to do with her, and I don't think ever will on the main roster. But this is something that only she would do, and she paid for it because that looked like it hurt a lot falling from that ladder.
So, question, right? Is it better? Because as a Schneider type fellow, I understand aluminum ladders that don't break like that. They bend and crumple. Wouldn't it be safer for her to fall into an aluminum wrap ladder and have it crumple underneath her instead of just have it pre-made where it breaks and you already have these pre-made sharp edges that can do essentially more damage to her?
See, I think the crumple could do more damage, though. I think the crumple could, because you don't know what's going to happen.
There's a reason why we have crumple areas in our new cars, because it absorbs energy better and disperses it better.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I honestly, you would know more than I would on that. So,
listen, we need like a science corner drop.
Yeah, no
that
kidding.
Was hardcore science shit. That was good stuff.
Well, either way, that was a hell of a bump she took. That's for sure.
And then of course we had the 4-way jump off the top rope, do something stupid bump. That Phoenix looked beautiful. That frog splash was amazing. Loomis kind of did his leg drop. He kind of went butt first on his stomach.
That was trouble.
So the Wyatt Six wins. I do like the fact that everyone on the outside got involved, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't Uncle Howdy come in and help? Why wouldn't Eric Rowan come in and help?
Why wouldn't the managers come in and get involved?
BFAB, little BFAB action.
Pat on my back for that one. Thank you.
I was also pretty impressed and pleased to see a couple things I hadn't seen before. Phoenix on top of Andrade almost reaching the belts, right? Without a ladder. That was cool.
That was
right.
Cool.
The managers coming in and trying to steal the belt while everyone's outside. Like, I didn't realize that was even an option in a ladder match, and I thought that was a great idea.
You're Mr. Anarchy. You totally would go for something like that if you were in a ladder match. Like, that's absolutely what you would do. You're Mr. Anarchy.
Oh, shocking. Someone agrees with Rod. Rod's always right. Thanks, Mark.
It's the Podcasting Network for a reason, folks.
It's not the Chris King Podcasting Network. It doesn't go off the tongue just as easy, does it? So we have the Wyatt Six winning. There were a couple of timing issues with the match. Number one, I thought the match was way too short. Both Jackson and Izzy were like, it's over already, because they loved that match.
But like you said, though, Jim, they're doing like they're having the equivalent of car crashes every couple of minutes. How long can it go on?
Exactly. Wyatt Six wins. They'll move on.
I like that. Honestly, I like
it's
that.
Fine.
I didn't know who I wanted going into that match. I really didn't know who I wanted going into that match. And the Wyatt Six keeping it is fine with me, because I just think there's so many stories you can tell with those guys. They're so weird. The creepiness works with a brawl with literally anybody. Everybody makes sense being scared of them. So it's just like, okay, cool. Let's do that. It's definitely not the Motor City Machine Guns. Does anybody get less reactions when they do anything than the Motor City Machine Guns? Like, DIY looks like a huge fan favorite.
Shut up, Rod.
Next to the Motor City Machine
That
Guns.
is not a compliment. You know it. Watch your mouth. DIY is amazing. So Ciampa had to stand on the ladder for about 10 minutes with no one coming up because someone forgot. It's fine. No problem.
Hey, but that core strength he showed while he was hanging from those belts
was
impressive.
That was insane when he went. That's crazy. He is a very strong man. So then we had Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky to start off everything. These triple threat matches in the WWE can somebody do something different for an ending? That's all I ask. So it needs to, first of all, it needs to go to a 3-way dance where whoever gets pinned first is out, and then the other two wrestle, and whoever wins that is the champ. It needs to be a 3-way dance. ECW did it a long time ago. I don't understand why. It's timing, and they don't want to be a certain person.
The only thing the Janitors League does correct at this moment. It's the only thing the Janitors League does correct at this moment. They don't have 3-ways. They got 3-way dances.
I do like that Rhea got pinned. I thought that was good. I like that Naomi retained. Other than that, I this was a out of the corner of my eye match I was watching. How do you guys think it went?
Chris, I got a second Jimmy here. The Mrs. Morgan, pulled me away to help her out with a little bit of an errand here as the show was starting. So you're actually the only member of this podcast that laid eyes on the match. I walked in as Naomi was walking up the ramp with the belt.
I think probably the right person walked away with the belt. I think that keep Naomi as a heel. I think she is really good in the ring. I will say this. I am probably getting tired of roll-ups finishing women's matches almost as much as you old heads are probably tired of sleeper holds finishing men's matches, right? Like, I'm getting tired of the roll-ups, the cheap little things that should be easy to get out just because you're getting your tights pulled. Somehow you can't kick out all of a sudden.
It's the surprise, Chris. You're not sure what happened. You can't react in 3 seconds.
You guys are crazy.
By the way,
kayfabe complaints.
By the way, Crippler did mention that Carmella won Money in the Bank match that way. Yes, James Ellsworth, who was her manager at the time, grabbed the belt and just dropped it on her, and she won the Money in the Bank.
That sounds
grabbed
like
the briefcase.
A Carmella thing to do.
Yeah,
that sounds so Carmella. I like that.
Yes. So overall, night 2 better than night 1.
I don't think so, but I mean, I'm a Seth
Wow.
Rollins, Charlotte Flair guy, so I'm not biased here.
I don't know if I can pick a better night. I think they were both equally good, right?
Okay.
For the first 2 nights SummerSlam, right? I don't think we were going to get one great night. I think if what we need is and what we should expect are 2 good nights, and that's what we got.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you take the best 6 matches from both nights, that's your SummerSlam.
And we still didn't get LA Knight, right? I mean, like I said, I complained about 2 nights. We still didn't get LA Knight. We still Damian Priest, who's been, readily
Damian Priest out.
He wasn't involved. He wasn't.
You did get a Karrion Kross.
We did get Karrion Kross in a 7-minute match. Yeah, or 8-minute match. Yep.
Right. Like, I mean, we can't.
Time.
We got Dirty Dom, right? So that's a good one.
Jimmy, can I go out on a quick little kayfabe complaint here?
Sure.
So the cage match, all right, the MFTs or the MTFs, is it MFTs? It doesn't matter. They come down to the ring. They're surrounding the steel cage, right? Jimmy Uso's music hits. He comes in from the crowd, drops a couple of kicks on people, right? And he makes things go his way for a little bit. And you're like, all right, cool. He's evening the odds. Jimmy then proceeds to get thrown over the desk, right? Just thrown over the desk. He doesn't get slammed through the desk. He doesn't really somebody doesn't jump off the top rope. So they just throw him over the desk and he is done. He is out and done for the entirety of the rest of the finish of that cage match, where we had Talatonga was able to climb up to the top of the cage. He was able to handcuff Jacob Fatu at one point. We had Cobb was doing a whole bunch of stuff. I just called him Cobb. JC Mateo was doing a whole bunch of stuff.
I love you, dude. No, I love you.
Laid out the whole time. So I just, I understand that we're all here for entertainment. And I understand that things get tough to write and you have spots that you want to get to, but could somebody stop them real quick and be like, guys, can we maybe have something more happen to Jimmy Uso than just getting thrown over a desk and then him being laid out for 7 straight minutes when we got guys kicking out of pins after taking 2 straight finishers? Like, can we try to clear that up, Jimmy? Am I asking for too much?
Yeah, it's what they needed. Yeah, I agree. It's such a small thing that you would think. But also, Rod, why do you get hurt if you missed a drop kick, but you don't get hurt if you hit a drop kick? It's the same spot.
That's true.
Why?
So these are the unexplained things that
why is a roll up Why are you so shocked and surprised when you get rolled up that you can't kick out in 3 seconds? We leave you with these questions.
This one burns Chris up.
On the Yeah We Know podcast.
Listen, I'm going to say one last thing, too, because I had listened to the podcast, and you guys talked about, and maybe it was even Rod in the chat thread, but he was talking about watching some old Raws from the 80s, 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how much better that professionals were at selling things back then compared to now. I think tonight we saw a good example of that because you saw Dom and AJ really selling things a lot more than I did in a lot of other matches.
You love that Dom and
Just
AJ
trying to
match.
talk
I can't
up
wait to
Dom.
watch
Yeah,
it.
You're just talking up Dom. Good Lord, just always Dom. The Dom propaganda on this podcast is insane coming out of Chris.
He's a genius, Rod. You're going to have to admit it.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, Rod, and thanks, Crippler, for all the notes.
Crippler, you're the man.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.